Elementary students solve subtraction problems in many different ways depending on their grade level. Today I will show you some of these strategies for solving. Second grade students use concrete models or drawings to solve subtraction problems, and this is what it may look like. First, the student would look at the problem, 202 minus 196. They would look at that number 196 and then they would count up to get to the number 202. They would add one single cube for every number they said. They would start at the number 196 and count up 197, 198, 199, 200, 201, 202. Once they got to the number 202, they would count up all the single cubes that they have put out to get the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer to 202 minus 196 is 6. The 6 cubes represent the difference between the two numbers. In the third grade, students use estimation strategies to decompose and adjust the numbers to determine the answer to solve the subtraction problem. And this is what it might look like. So if you have the problem 200 minus 196, and you wanted to decompose these numbers by adjusting them, it would be easier to solve and you would get the same answer. So you could take 2 away from 202 to get 200, and you can also take 196 minus 2 to make it 194. Now we have 200 minus 194. So you would draw out this number line with 200 being at the end. Then you would look at the 194 and you would take the 1 out of the hundreds place. So it would be 100. So you could take 100 away from 200 and do minus 100 to get a tick, and it would be 100. And you would draw a line with an arrow so you know that you're subtracting down the number line. And then once you do this, you'll go back up to your 194 and you would see the 9 in the tens column, so then you subtract 90 from the 100 you had, and that gives you 10. And then you go back up to your problem and you see that it's a 4 in the ones. So then you would just subtract 4 from the 10 and you would end up with a 6. So 6 would be your answer. And if you wanted to check this, going back to the original, then you could just say, you could take your 196 and add 6 to it and get 6 and 6 would give you 12. So you would put the 2 under and carry the 1, which gives you 9 plus 1 would be 10. So you do the same thing, and 1 and 1 is 2, so that gives you 202. 202. In the 4th grade, students would use the standard algorithm strategy to solve subtraction problems, and this is what it would look like. First, the child would set up the problem with the higher number of 202 minus 196. Next, you would look at the ones place and ask yourself, how can I take 6 away from 2 if I don't have enough? So then you go and you look at the tens place and you see that you also don't have enough there. So then you would jump all the way over to the hundreds place. So now you need to regroup this 2, which would equal out to 2 hundreds flats. So you would regroup this 2 into a 1 and take that 100th flat and regroup it into a 10 for 10 tens rods. So then you go back over to your ones place and you see that you now have enough to regroup. So then you regroup that 10 you regroup that 10 into a 9 and you take that one of those tens rods that you had and you regroup that into 10 one single cubes. So now you have enough to take 6 away from 12, which leaves you with 6. So then you go back over and you look at the tens place and then you see that 9 take away 9 is nothing, and 1 take away 1 is nothing. So 6 is your answer. 202 minus 196 equals 6.